Hi, and welcome to Black Bear Prepper's channel. I'm the Black Bear Prepper. So today we're going to be talking about something that Mara arthritic hands love to talk about, which is speed loaders for magazines. So I shoot Mini 14s, so there's only one I've really found that works well for that. And I shoot a lot of different calibers, so there's all different versions that I've had over the years. Some were Christmas presents, some were other things. We're kind of going to go down the list of from most universal to fast and everything else. So we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So let's start out with probably the most common. Okay. So well, let's do the most universal first. So this is the most universal one I think that I own, which is the magLula. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors. I recommend getting a color version. Has a little lock on the side, that allows you to lock it shut so you can put it in your pocket or whatever. I really like this guy because it fits everything. So this is kind of cool. These are my single stack car magazines. They go up in there. They fit. So what you'll do is you'll actually pull it back. You'll pump down. You drop the round in. Let it up. Go down. Up. Down. You have to pull in, drop the round in, let up, and drop it down. I really like that. Now, here's the one thing, though. See, there's the single stacks. This is a 10 mil magazine, which I have a hard time finding anything that loads 10 mil. So these are really cool. They actually work even a little better than the other ones. So these guys, you pull in, shove down, take a nice 10 millimeter giant round, throw it in there, and work. Now, it works a little better if you can get it on a nice, flat, hard surface. You can do it on your chest if you want, but it tends to work a little bit better here. And you just load them right up. It really works good. And especially on these 10-round magazines, California compliant stupidness. Because those are hard to load for that last couple rounds. I really do like this. This is really hard on my hand, though. I have a lot of hard time gripping. I've been an electrician for a long time. And my hands have a lot of arthritis and carpal tunnel and all of the other funky things that you get when you get old. So that's a favorite of mine. Killer deal. Kind of the next one that is very, very similar but specific to each magazine are the Glock loaders. You get these a lot with Glocks. Don't throw this guy away. It's kind of a cool little loader. So similar idea. You're going to push down. I found it's a little hard to get the first round in. You're going to have to push that first round in. Once you've got the first round in, they do work pretty darn well. So you push it in, you let it up, and you have to push it back. So you do have to push this one back. That's still not the end of the world, and you're not constantly having to grip it, and, it's more of just a push down, and then you have to push with your fingers. So it's not quite as neat, but for me, it actually works a little better because of the arthritis in my hand. So that's just the simple Glock loader that comes with all your Glock guns. So you get them for each one that you buy. You buy a 10 mil. It comes with a 10 mil. That is the one problem. They're not universal. They're only for 9 millimeter, and they tend to only work on Glock magazines. Sometimes I've got them to work on other things. One that I really liked for speed-wise is the Ets Tactical. Now, this is kind of a cool magazine if you buy your stuff in boxes. So you take your magazine, you slide it in there, tap it, get it all the way up in there. That's really important. And then make sure you lube this guy. It tells you to lube it online. I use a dry lube, like this. Big fan of dry lubes. This works really good, and there's no, you don't get anything on your finger if it's dry lubed. But you want to spray down in here and spray the rail. This one tends to work best with brass rounds. So definitely a brass round lover. Versus like the magLula and the Glock, anything works just fine. But this is really a cool feature. You sit there and you can pick up 5 rounds at a time. Okay, and then you can pick up another 5 rounds. And then 50% of the time I can get this thing to work right off the bat. It's probably my fastest loader. And I just shove it down in there. Let's see if I can get that last one to go. This is a 10-round Glock magazine, so sometimes that last little round has a hard time going in there. But that's 10 rounds in half a second, so that's a huge advantage for people that have trouble with this. I tend to have a little bit easier time with this than I do some of the other ones, because it's just pushing down. It does help if you're like at a safe station where you can really push down hard on it. Again, it works much, much better with your 10-round magazine or with your brass ammo. So, I mean, a lot of times what I'll do, just to make it easy on myself, is I'll pick them up 5 rounds at a time. So I get in there, get my 5 rounds. And 5 rounds usually always goes in there real good. I can just sit there and top those guys off. So that's, 10 rounds there. So it is very fast. I really do like that. Kind of a cool idea. That's probably one of my favorites. My kids really like the magLula ones. I've used the Glock ones forever and ever and ever. There's lots of different ones for 10-22s and all kinds of stuff. When it comes to Mini 14 magazines, this thing works for ARs and Mini 14 magazines and all kinds of things. It really works best on the polymer magazines. So you take this guy, you put it on the back, you hold it on kind of with your hand here. If you had stripper clips, you can use stripper clips. This one's always the hard one to get to stay. So I just go ahead and I load up, 10 rounds. These are 5 rounders, so these are but they'll load up the 5 rounders just fine. Okay, and you've got 5 rounds loaded in there. So real similar to their 9mm magazine, but what I like about this is it does fit on the Mini 14 magazines. Doesn't work perfect. I have about a 50-50 shot sometimes with the steel factory magazines, but overall, a pretty cool tool. I want to show you something that is really, really neat. This is the mag pump. So this is the mag pump from Magpump, and this is their cheapest version. I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do is we're going to grab out of the box. It will run on steel. They say don't do that. I just tested it out. It seemed to work fine for me. I don't know if that could possibly break it. So it's up to you on your own risk on that whole thing. Make sure there's no guns around you when you're doing this. This is live ammo. So a lot of times what they'll do at tournaments, they'll have a safe table and then they'll have a gun table. So kind of mention that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab them literally out of the box, drop them in there. Okay? What I love about this, there's no sorting them. There's no nothing like that. It really works good. This comes with a bunch of different little tips. So this happens to be the one for Glock. It comes with a Smith & Wesson one for SIG, one for the XDs. So there's 5 or 6 different ones. Make sure it fits your gun. So it is universal in that fact, but it only does 9mm, which is great with the PCP, pistol caliber carbine, PCC. There we go. I eventually would have got it. That's great when a lot of those guys are loading up 47 round magazines to get through it, because there is no limit on your magazines, which is kind of a cool feature. So you can have a magazine way out here and load this whole sucker up. It only holds 50 at a time, but you can always just keep reloading it as you go. And what you're going to do, you kind of rock it in at an angle, so you kind of put it in there, rock it in there, and where it locks, you're going to shove it forward to where it locks. And then you are literally just going to go all the way down and all the way back up. All the way down and all the way back up. All the way down, all the way back up. And there we are. We're out of it right there. We got 10 rounds of 9mm in there, and these stupid 10-round magazines from Glock. These are really hard to load. They also work good on some of your other magazines, some of the high cap magazines that have the longer extensions on them. They work really well on that, even topping those off, where by hand I can only get them up to like 17, 18 rounds. I can get them up to 20, and really you can overload them. So one of those things is kind of a nice idea. Keep in mind, this is a pretty powerful loader, so make sure you're not overloading your magazines. But these are 10 rounders, which are super hard. You know how hard it is to get that last round in on that, and it loads it up just fine. I have found that not always is it perfect on dropping that round in there, meaning that sometimes I'll pump and it doesn't actually catch every single time. I don't care. It's so much cooler just to be able to dump a whole bunch of rounds in there and just pump away, you know. Because of that, it does make it a lot easier to do that. It is one of those things that makes them so you can literally just, you know, slide it in, find a little lock. It is sometimes a little touchy on getting that lock in there, getting it locked in there, and getting that last round. We're out of rounds, but, you know, making sure you got that last round in there works really good. So, if you guys have any questions, please like and share. Tell your friends. These things right here are ones I've used for a long time, and I really do like them because of that. This one is definitely the coolest, but it is also probably the most expensive. You know, look them up on eBay, find them cheap if you can. But if you're going out to a tournament where you've got 10, 15 magazines to load, you know, we'll usually do nine magazines a piece on a tournament. And it's not bad to take out there. It looks a little dumb when you go out there, but people are always like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it's fun. A lot of the machine gun shops where you're going, excuse me, we'll run these because it is so much nicer just to be able to sit there without killing your thumbs, without tearing up your thumbs. But all these work really well. Definitely take it on your own time to take a look and see. Don't trust me. You know, look around, make sure I'm not telling you a bunch of bonk. But really like these guys. Definitely like this for 9mm. I wish they made it in a few other calibers because I have other calibers. But as always, guys, have a great day. Like and share. Tell your friends. Leave comments down in the bottom. That's how I'm able to do these videos for you guys. So as always, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.